Welcome back to the Daily Poem here on the Close Reads Podcast Network. I'm David Kern. Today's poem is by Charlotte Mew, an English poet who lived from 1869 to 1928. Thomas Hardy, who you heard from earlier this week, called her the best woman poet of her day. And Virginia Woolf said that she was, quote, very good and interesting and quite unlike anyone else. The poem that I'm going to read today is called, and now I don't speak French, and so I'll probably butcher this, but Quoi bon dire. Quoi bon dire. It goes like this. 17 years ago, you said something that sounded like goodbye. And everybody thinks that you were dead, but I. So I, as I grow stiff and cold to this and that, say goodbye too. And everybody sees that I am old, but you. And one fine morning, in a sunny lane, some boy and girl will meet and kiss and swear that nobody can love their way again. While over there, you will have smiled. I shall have tossed your hair. This poem is divided into 3 stanzas, which have essentially the same form until the final stanza. So there's 3 lines plus a very short 4th line in each stanza. But then the final line adds this: you will have smiled. I shall have tossed your hair. So the first 2 stanzas offer this sort of like ghostly sort of scenario, right? She seems to be keeping the poet, I should say, seems to be keeping a dead lover in memory. And then at the end of her life is realizing, that she too is fading away, that people are going to view her as a memory as well. And then we get at the very end this image of a boy and a girl meeting and kissing and saying, oh, nobody will ever love like us again, a sort of Romeo and Juliet scenario, right? But over there, you will have smiled and I shall have tossed your hair. And I love the sort of double meaning possibilities in that little line there, that little line that is added on to the end of the poem. The little turn we get, maybe a little surprise, because on the one hand, it could be my first impression when I read that poem, I remember, is that it's a ghostly scenario, right? There's a boy and a girl. They meet in this sunny lane. But over there off to the side is this ghostly couple who's perhaps they didn't get to be together. Somebody died too young. Somebody kept them apart. Something happened like in Romeo and Juliet. And so there's these ghostly figures finally together in death. Or over there could mean on the other side in the afterlife. Over there in the afterlife, they're finally together. They'll finally be together as they were meant to be. Either way, it's a little bit haunting. Either way, it's the kind of a poem about ghosts. And the tense that Charlotte Mew uses in that final line adds another layer of complication. You will have smiled and I shall have tossed your hair. Suggests a sort of, this is going to be happening or going to have happened in the future. Quoi bon dire means, it's translated in English as what good is there to say, which it's really interesting because, there's a question without a question mark. Is it as in to say you can't say anything more, or that the poem is the good thing to say, or is there anything good to say about the scenario? I think that it makes the question of unrequited love, unfulfilled love, come more into play, because it makes things more sad, I think, than if you just left it. There's a sort of haunting hopefulness without the title, but with that title in mind, it makes me think more about what the poem is trying to do. And that's one of those things I don't want to tell you exactly what I think, because it's worth just thinking about for a while. One of those things that I'll be thinking about today as I think about this poem some more. With the title being, what good is there to say? What does that mean? How does that change the way we think about this poem? Here it is again, Charlotte Mew's Quoi bon dire. 17 years ago, you said something that sounded like goodbye. And everybody thinks that you are dead. But I. So I, as I grow stiff and cold to this and that, say goodbye too. And everybody thinks that I am old but you. And one fine morning in a sunny lane, some boy and girl will meet and kiss and swear that nobody can love their way again. while over there you will have smiled, I shall have tossed your hair. This has been the Daily Poem. Thanks for listening. Be back on Monday with another poem for you.